All right, y'all. I am bored as hell sitting here waiting and shit. Uh, so I want to come on here and talk about something real quick. Here's my whole thing about it. I want to talk about how everyone has their opinion on what is beautiful and what is pretty. I think that I ran across a lot of these crazy people when I was like, what, 35 years old? And by the time I was 35, I had already lived a lot of my life. By the time I was 35, I had already lived my life, right? And so when you look at the men that I have had, all of my men have been fine. Do you understand me? All of my men have been sexy, cute, every last one of them. I ain't never had no ugly ass nigga. I haven't. So, you know, my looks and who I was already validated. Um, and so this brings me to my subject or my discussion as far as like when it comes to opinions of looks. I look at what a person look like sometimes. And when a very unattractive person calls me ugly, I don't pay attention to it because all of the men that I've had have been fine. Even even Jacob's father. Jacob's father is not Todd. Jacob's father looks just like Jensen Ackles. Literally. Jacob's father was fine. All of my men, black and white, all of them fine. Fine. So when you come to YouTube and you go to the black sector and you got a bunch of people that, like, first of all, I don't go around judging people's looks. I'm not narcissistic. But while you're at it, like, if you call me unattractive or out of my name, I'm going to look at you and I'm going to be like, well, consider the source. You are not an attractive person. And so when it comes to this older lady, like, when she gets compliments, it's usually from ugly men. You ain't never seen her with no fine man. Never. You just ain't seen it. Cause and so like when I look at like in my humble opinion, she's not that attractive to me. I've seen better and prettier. I have. Especially when you put yourself in a position to where you are judging people's looks. So, I think that her within herself and a few other ass kissers was literally trying to convince me that I was just like the most hideous thing walking around. And, I'm kind of like, well, you realize that I'm in my 40s, right? You realize that I've lived an entire life, like, or at least half of my life. Everybody has their own judgment on what they think is pretty and attractive. That's just like in that sector. I don't think that I'm anybody's type in that sector. I'm just not y'all cup of tea. Y'all be complimenting all them other women, and I don't see the beauty in those women. I really don't. Y'all do, and that's fine. But I don't see it. So, and that's one of the reasons why I was pissed off at Mike because I was like, dude, like, you realize that all of my men have been fine. Okay. Both of my baby daddies. You can call them losers and shit. You can go over there and look at my son's father's Facebook. That nigga is still fine. That nigga is fine. My daughter's father, he, God rest his soul, always been fine, always been a cutie pie. Like, and I, like I said, I don't go around judging people's looks, but that sector is so narcissistic that you just have to tell them, like, hey, listen, bro, because they'll sit up there, you so, yeah, like, y'all overacting, shut up. But then when you consider who's calling you unattractive, I'm like seriously, any of y'all, because a lot of y'all, like, I see kids get bullied in school, and I see the prettiest people being called ugly. I see the prettiest people being called out of their name. And I'll be like, show me who's saying these things to you. And it'd be somebody that looked like they just crawled out from under the goddamn fucking, just a rock or something. So, that's why I don't, and that's why I think that that everybody in that sector is jealous of me. You know, I had spoken to Mike about it. He was like, well, Alexis is an attractive woman. I said, well, that's your opinion. I'm like, in my opinion, she's not attractive. And Mike has been extremely abusive to me, calling me fat and ugly. Been doing it for years, even before I gained a couple of pounds. But I done lost a bunch of weight now. But even before I gained a couple of pounds, Mike was talking shit. And I'm thinking, even back then, I was like, well, hun, have you looked in the mirror lately? So like, you got to consider who's calling you out of your name. I was just looking at some pictures of old girl. It's a no for me. It's a no for me. Like, no. Like, I've seen so many, like, in the looks category, and then the fact that her personality is so fucking fucked. That is so unattractive to me. For you to, like, the stuff that she does is unattractive. You know what I'm saying? And, I think that a lot of them that are in that sector, I think that they are delusional. And just always, yeah, I talked to her baby daddy and so and so and so. Girl, you ain't never talked to my baby daddy. When? I ain't never seen a female that, according to my standards, on a scale of 1 to 10, she is literally a 2 or 3 in my eyes. That just wants to convince people that she's so fine, but ain't there, I've been wifed up a couple of times. Why you so bitter if you so fine? You not, to me, you're not an, to me, you've never been attractive. You've had some good angles, you've taken some pretty pictures. But other than that, like, it's so many beautiful women out there, and you just, like, you're incredibly arrogant. And then your son ain't all that either. He's not even all that. And you accusing people of stalking this nigga, and he looked like a muskrat. Your son is not that attractive. When you take the filters and the makeup off, he looked like Bubba Gump. It's not that attractive. So I really don't fucking understand it. I really don't understand it. If you were more humble in your disposition and not body shaming other women and talking shit, you would be more attractive if you would stop talking about the way people look, lady. And if you would humble yourself, you would be maybe a 6 or a 7. When you do what you do, and you've been doing it for years, when you do that, like when you judge the way people look, like when you talk about black women, when you say big and black, I'm not no big black woman, like you are, like the colorism in you makes you sick. And I remember years ago, you was like, child, light skin waist. And I was like, no, she didn't. It's a lot of darker skinned black women who are big and beautiful. Like, I'll give you one example. What's her name? The one that they always giving a hard time, the rapper. I can't think of that lady's name. That big girl, that big rapper, she is gorgeous, is killing you in the looks department. And she's overweight. You need to humble yourself, man. I think somebody needs to tell you the goddamn truth. Cause you're gonna be what you gonna when you get old, if you lucky enough to get to that age, you're gonna be baby Jane status. You're gonna look in the mirror one day and be totally traumatized. Then I remember you used to always talk about people with bell pepper noses. Girl, why are you so down on ethnic looks? Like it's disgusting. That's why I know that you created that black sector because you hate black people. But most black women look better than you. Most of us look better than you. And this is the truth. And people have to hide their relationships from you. Can't nobody tell you what somebody's done for them, or you gonna flip out and shit. I just block your goddamn number. I'd rather weather the fucking storm. You know what I've been through the last 2 to 3 weeks? I'm gonna tell y'all what I've been through. I had to go to court and we had to settle, so that I could, continue to keep my place because you wanted me to bow down to you and I wasn't gonna do it, right? Because you don't provide for me. You don't. You expected me to bow down. I would rather go through what I went through the last fucking 3 weeks than to bow down to you. Like literally my shit was shaky as fuck. I'd rather go through the storm. I'd rather weather the storm than to bow down to you. You know why? Because in 2018, your fuck ass son told a lie on me. And I told your asses that I was not fucking with you anymore. Okay. People don't have to be associated with you if they don't want to. And I think that your energy is so fucking toxic that it led to a lot of the shit that I had. But I'd rather go through that than to ever fucking bow down to you because who the fuck are you? Then you tried to fuck up my relationship with my mother, but then expected me to give you all of the fucking respect. And that's just not going to be happening at all because you're not my mother. Right? You're nobody to me. Who the fuck are you? You just some bitch in social media. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, you're extremely toxic, extremely. Okay. And I had to weather the storm. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did it that way. Then, perhaps you'll stop harassing people. Okay. And so, in my opinion, you're not an attractive woman. I would, and I don't know why you kept saying that I was stalking you. I've never been attracted to you sexually. Even back then, when I considered myself to be bisexual, I've never been attracted to you. We supposed to be women in business anyway. What does that have to do with anything? So, you don't really know anything about beauty. You really don't, because there's no beauty on the inside. It's not. And as far as you keep trying to throw this man up in my face that I let go because of the bullshit he was doing, eh, you know, there's no man that wants to come home to you every night and look at that pinched face of yours. I've got your photographs downloaded. You ain't even look right in that cobalt blue. You ain't even look right. You look nice with the blue wig on, but it's my opinion. Everybody has a right to their own opinion. Nobody should be forced to tell you that you're attractive, or you're going to attack them and call the police and all that shit. Something's really wrong with that picture. So if a bitch told me I wasn't attractive, I'd be like, so? If a nigga told me I wasn't attractive, I'd be like, so? But you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never, ever, ever been insulted as much as I've been insulted in that black sector. But that's because that's a setup for the wet up. So I've never allowed that sector to dictate how I feel about the way that I look. Even after I had a sexual relationship with Mike Mills, and he kept going crazy, going live, talking about some, you fat, ugly bitch. And people like, yeah, he not even him. So all that was a setup. And see, he already know what's real, and he's missing out on what's real, and it don't have nothing to do with all that freaky ass shit y'all talking about. It don't even have nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with none of that dumb shit y'all talking about. I personally feel that I still feel that the real Mike Mills is dead for some reason. I feel like Mike died. I do. I feel like that's his evil twin. So, mm-hmm. It's a lot of secrets and shit going on with that shit. Something ain't right with none of that bullshit. Well, he's still weird like he was back then, but So, you know what I'm saying? Like, all this bullshit because of the low self esteem that people have, you know, everybody got to call Jamila ugly in that sector. This shit is stupid. It doesn't change the way that I see myself or the way that I feel about myself. And the shit was so fucking bizarre. It really was. It was really fucking bizarre. It still is. And I don't go around saying that I'm all that. I don't go around attacking women, calling them ugly and stuff like that. I don't do shit like that. I ain't never been that type of person. And I'm not calling you ugly. I'm just saying that you're not all that. I've got an opinion. I think years ago, I think here's my whole thing about it. Here's my whole thing about it. I think that when you purposely go out of your way, like literally several years of trying to make me feel invalid and shit, like you got some deep, deep, deep issues when you're doing that. So, that's just how I feel. I feel like if you were all that, actually, all the years and years of I look better than you and all that dumb shit, that wouldn't even be necessary. It would never be necessary to a woman that is truly beautiful, that feels beautiful, that knows that she's beautiful. She don't do shit like that. Real women don't do shit like that. We don't do shit like that. And sometimes when you a woman, you got to look at, like, how I gauge it? I gauge it by what the person looks like. Like, whenever I get compliments from men, I look at what they look like. I get compliments from men that are fine. I'm talking about attractive in some kind of way. An unattractive man telling me that I'm unattractive means shit to me. It means nothing to me. Okay, especially a broke, unattractive dude. Like, not only are you unattractive, but you're broke also. So, you know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. And then especially the fact that you be running around here hating on black women, dark skinned black women, when I was raised by beautiful dark skinned women. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit really pisses me the fuck off. I resent that shit. I resent that shit when you do that shit. And I think you cause a lot of division in the black community. Well, in that sector. You're not affecting anybody's community. Okay. And then you ghetto is all get out shit, with the stupid shit that you do, you know? So, and then you say you queen of the underground. Don't nobody even know you though. Who the fuck knows you? Right now, if you go around in the Atlanta area and ask who the fuck you are, nobody knows you. Nobody knows you. I remember when I first got down here and you was stalking me. And I would randomly ask people, do you know who this person is? Like, if I ever got into a conversation with people, they'd be like, no, I have no idea who that person is. Nobody even knows you, So, uh, and that's just what that is. And I think I'ma still do that since you still trying to shame me for my looks. When I get back from running my errand, I'm going to get together a picture collage of tons and tons of beautiful black women that are killing you, myself included. Myself included. And then I remember years ago, you were talking about women with stretch marks on their stomach, women that got their tiger stripes on their stomach from having babies. Like, there is nothing natural about you. Like, don't know, man. Girl, you know how many times I've been loved by a man? I'm talking about a fine ass man. You know how many times I've been made love to by a fine ass man. And then here you come. What's up, 1EQL? Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm gonna put that picture collage together though. You know, like you need to be in reality. And I think that you would be more attractive. Maybe you find a husband. Maybe you find a real husband if you would humble yourself. Okay, because you can't always look like you posing for a picture. There's going to be times when you're married, when you're going to wake up in the morning, you got sleep in your eye, drool on the side of your face. How do you actually live a real life? What the fuck are you, a mannequin? Yeah, damn. 1EQL, murder, murder, murder. Like, what are you, a mannequin? Like, what are you going to sit there in one pose or whatever with this smile on your face all the time? Like, there's going to be times when your expressions on your face is going to change. There's going to be times when you don't look so hot. And a man is going to see you at your worst and your best. If we talking about men, that's just like when I come on here with no goddamn makeup on. I ain't about to come on here. I ain't got to look like no goddamn porcelain doll every time I go live and shit. That shit is weird to me, bro. Permanently ripped away from them. And then when you talk about fat women or overweight women, that are like my size, what the like, how many overweight women have a man that loves the fuck out of them, and you sitting there all alone with some candles and a ghost in your own little fucking world, expecting everybody. That's why I said don't bark up my tree then. So a lot of bigger women got men just falling all over them, paying their bills and shit. And then you sitting over there harassing people in social media for clout and attention. Like, get the fuck out of here. And I'm ashamed to even have anything to do with you. I'm ashamed that I even ever spoke to you. Ew. You know what I'm saying? 1EQL. It's like, girl, bye. Like, really? I bet you she be talking about T.I.'s wife too. Tiny is killing you in the looks department. Tiny is destroying you in the looks department. I don't give a shit what nobody says. Because beauty is not like what your plastic surgeon created. Get the fuck, girl, bye. And it's reality, man. It's like reality. And she probably wanted me to come on here and say, well, Alexis, you real beautiful. But I ain't never felt that way. Like when I complimented you previously, it was because first of all, I didn't really see you close up. I didn't really know you. And then also I was being nice and polite. But other than that, I mean, you are definitely pushing at 3. On a scale of 1 to 10 in the looks department, you are a 3. You are a 3, hon. I'm just saying. Yeah, that plastic surgery did, but I'm just saying, like, beauty doesn't, like, her idea of beauty is whatever her plastic surgeon created. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Literally. And I've never seen anybody like that in my life in this world. That's that fucking disconnected and checked out to lunch. Mm-hmm. So People like nice people. You know what's beautiful? Nice. And you're not a nice person. You're not. You can't sit up here and fake being nice, but then do what the fuck you do. We all know the truth. You're not a nice person. Okay? You're not. But you know what, one EQL, you know what I realized about Mike is that somehow Mike got programmed very early on by Alexis. Fuck, I said her goddamn name. He got programmed by her. And the program is not good. You know, because and I think all of them did, most of them in that sector did, most of them did. Like, really, I already know that they share the same opinion, they're just too scared to say it. And I'm like, girl, bye. I will kick narcissist in his fucking ass. Look like, yeah, no. And you don't have a beautiful spirit either. Your spirit is fucked up. Her spirit is all fucked up. You think he sold his soul to the devil? He might have. Shit, I don't know. I know that ain't Mike walking around here. I need to do a soul retrieval on him. If I wanted him back, I would have to do a soul retrieval on him. 'Cause if somebody sell their soul to the devil, I can get it back. He is not himself right now. He's not. And I'm not going to do a soul retrieval on him because honestly, I don't even want him back. You know what I'm saying? I don't. So, but that's what it would require. Otherwise, he's just lost. And I would hate to be lost in the wilderness with somebody like her. God. And she always laughing and trying to tell jokes, but it's boring. She's very boring. Um, it's not entertaining. You know what I'm saying? I would be bored. I couldn't imagine sitting around a campfire with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and her do not mesh, and I wasn't planning on getting in mesh with her like that. It was just like a Facebook friend, dad, and she was all up in my man. She was thirsty as fuck. Her and her son, both of them was thirsty. All I did was send him a goddamn friend request, and it was, "How you doing, girl? What you doing?" Da, 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 da. She was all up in my face, and then her son added me, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" I'm like, God damn, these motherfuckers is thirsty. You know? Yeah, you right. All right, y'all. I gotta go. I said my piece. Yeah, like I said, final word. I don't give a fuck about what nobody in that sector thinks of me. Y'all all programmed. That's just like I heard Styles talking. And, I ain't trying to start no beef with him, but he was just like repeating all that foul ass shit about me. Like, why do people in that sector insist on repeating shit that's a lie? It's like it be a lie roast. And they be knowing that everybody in that sector lies on one another just to make each other look as bad as possible. But they'll still repeat it. I don't get it. And then they'll say, Jesus? Uh, I don't think so. Leave Jesus alone. That's my brother. Leave him alone. He ain't got nothing to do with you. Okay? I'm Jesus's evil twin. No, I'm joking. All right, y'all. I gotta go. I'll see y'all later. I'm trying to fucking I'm trying to fill in the time where I'm waiting and shit on some shit. So, you know. All right, y'all. I'm out.